All right, so at your school here, you have all these different classes. Tell us a little bit about your instructors.
Well, primarily myself, I handle most of the evening classes for like the mixed martial arts or the kickboxing. Jason Matter is one of my assistants. He's also trained with Dan Severin. He actually helps Dan teach the seminar camps that he does out in Coldwater. And he also trains, to be honest, I'm not familiar myself, but it is a Saulo Ribeiro affiliated gym in Ann Arbor. He's a blue belt in the jiu-jitsu out there, and he helps out do some jiu-jitsu. We also have another assistant that will come in here once a week who's a brown belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Okay. You just named those guys and their belts. Give us a little bit of your background. You've been here training in this one building for a large portion of your life.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people spend so much time in one place. That's kind of something special. This place has to mean something to you. Tell us. You were telling me about going to the UFC in Detroit and getting into it. Besides that, what's your background?
Well, I've been here, as I said, for 16 years. I'm a second-degree black belt in the American karate system. I'm the first person in the system to make their dan below the age of 18. I made it when I was 15. With the system, they normally would not test before the age of 18. But I've been training here. I've stuck around here. I've obviously, like I said, I boxed at Kronk for a little bit, went out with Dan, but that's because I'd like to pool more things to my gym and have more people here, so that the more you learn, the easier it is for everyone else to train.
Okay. You talked about the philosophy at Kronk and learning about the fighter's mindset. Do you have a philosophy here that you put together from knowing Dan Severin and then the Kronk guys that is a little bit different, get your own version of?
Basically, what I tell people and what my system, my style of training, I don't have real intimidating, yell at you, mean and grit system. I tell people, A, you have to have your conditioning, because if there's no gas in the tank, you're done. So you have to have the energy, you have to have the cardio to carry throughout all 3 rounds. If you're going to do an amateur fight, 3 3-minute rounds, we're going to do 6 5-minute rounds to get you ready for that. And then it's just going to be hard and technical. If you've got the conditioning, then as long as your heart stays in the game, you take it from there. I push everybody in all the classes to, be a little bit better, a little bit harder, and do those extra reps every session.
All right, what's the easiest thing to teach of those 3, and what's the hardest?
The one thing I cannot teach is heart. I have some people, I have one guy here that, he's got the biggest heart you could find. There's absolutely no quitting the guy, no matter what. His first fight, he got caught in a rear naked choke in the first 42 seconds of the round. The guy had it sank, and he stayed in that choke all the way till the round was over. His face was turning blue, wouldn't tap out, didn't quit, came back and turned the fight around and won it in the 3rd round. Great heart, great fighter. The easiest thing that I can teach is technique. The techniques, I can understand, I can present those. That's like a school teacher teaching something out of a textbook. The cardio and the conditioning, I personally always push myself harder in the gym, because the harder you push it here, the easier it will be in the cage or in the ring. But you have a lot of people that, I hate to say it, 9 out of 10 Americans are lazy. So pushing them hits a point where, people want to be pushed, and then they hit that point where they think they want to be pushed that hard. Most people, their first workout here, they wind up having to use one of the puke buckets. They get done, and then they get them going from there, and they feel better afterwards.
Gotcha. Who do you look up to, as a coach and a teacher, and then as an athlete yourself?
Personally, one of my students here, he's actually started as a training partner about 8 years ago here, brought up a funny statement that 8 years ago was talking about Sean Shirk himself, and how since the beginning, since I started doing MMA training, he's always been one of my idols, one of the people that I've always looked forward to, and now I've got him at my gym here. Dan Severin's another great standout fighter. Tom Tilley, who started the gym, got the American Karate Training Centers when I started training, I wouldn't be the fighter I am today if it wasn't for him. He's given me literally a place to stay. I slept on the mat here, lived out of this gym for about 2 years, and I've done everything I could out of this place.
Okay. With Sean Shirk here, what is it that you're hoping that your guys will take away from working with him today?
Basically the experience of training with a UFC champion, somebody that has been through, the fire, hell and high water. Sean Shirk's had some real battles. He's fought the best of the best, the toughest, and I'm hoping that after this summer the guys can see that, see another aspect of somebody who's in the UFC, that they can look and realize that, it is attainable and that they can reach that goal themselves.
Cool. What's next for you guys? You expanded your gym. What's the next expansion or addition you guys are looking for?
Right now, we're still going to finish up this remodel here. We got a pro shop. We have heavy bags and more equipment coming in, a new wrestling mat and all this equipment. The next thing we're looking at is we might be going into a partnership with the Powerhouse Gym franchise, where we will be offering training and instruction at different Powerhouse locations. And then the sky's the limit from there.
Any new classes or anything look to add?
As we expand, we'll have more wrestling classes. We have a couple of standout collegiate wrestlers that will be coming in really to just work on specializing wrestling technique. We have a pro boxer, Jay Glover, who will be in here in March starting to teach boxing classes twice a week for us. And any other standout fighters or any other standout instructors that I can bring in just to make my students and my fighters more well-rounded, I'll definitely jump on the opportunity.
All right, tell us a little bit about Glover.
Jay Glover, he boxed Bernard Hopkins before altogether. He's got about 35 years of boxing experience. He's retired about, I think it was 2002 was when his last match was, and ever since he's just been teaching boxing sessions. He owns a gym out in Detroit on Schaefer, and he's going to be coming in twice a week to do some classes for us here.
Awesome. I know you want to get back to the seminar, and I don't want to keep you too much longer, but the Kronk Gym, you got any good stories from there? There's so many good fighters that have come through there.
The funny thing is, when I was there's a lot of things that me and Eddie, when he used to work with me down there, I hate to say it, I used to get the shit beat out of me left and right. We used to knock each other around, but the thing is the stories and the experiences you learn from any gym, wherever you're at. For most people, a gym is home. It's different than going to the bar and getting drunk every night. You can do something, interact with everybody, and really, enjoy, but it's more beneficial to yourself, to your family, to everyone around. It's something that, becomes more of a brotherhood and a kinship. And that's one thing that I definitely learned at Kronk was that, when you start getting around people that are high caliber, the true champions and the true athletes are the people that don't have to present 24/7. They don't have to, say what their record is or who they are or where they trained or anything like that. They're just average guys with unaverage talent.
Okay. Great. Well, thank you very much.
No problem.